Hello and good time zones, everybody. It is me, your host, Nico Samarado, and welcome in, dear listeners, for I'm your navigator of the digital grid and the guardian of the internet. Welcome to The Silver Lining, the show where we spotlight various creators of all sizes and shapes to learn about the various things of the random shenanigans of the internet. Today, I am joined by the lovely pink nurse VTuber, Pink Potionss. Pink, good to see ya. Welcome in.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited to have you here. And it's good to have you here today. I'm really excited just to have like a new person to talk to, and and honestly, it's cool because like I don't know like how to put this into proper words, but like all of my guests up until this point have been like close mutuals and people that I have like been like with for a very long time. So like you're like the first like new person I get to learn about and hang out with. So like this will be fun for us both.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I think this is my first like real like outside collab besides Friends too.
I adore that. And of course, for anybody who's watching here today, we are of course doing a live recording here today over on our Twitch. So if you guys ever are watching today's video and would like to join the streams, check out a link in the description. There will also be a description in the chat, as well as in the description for Pink Potionss personal Twitch. So if you want to check them out, we'll go in there. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be covering a pretty nifty topic in regards to the realm of the VTuber world, because today's topic is going to be discussing about why VTubers are more than just cute people on screen, and we'll be talking about the various stereotypes and the tropes of VTubing culture and some of the opinions that I have about what has been going on in the realm of VTubing. So first off, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the fun back and forth, I just want to say, Pink, that this is a very wonderful model. You have a very heavily detailed, beautiful looks. And would you mind telling the guests and those who are watching here today what is your VTuber? What's your lore?
Okay, so I thought it would be funny and ironic to be a nurse, solely because I've got really bad health. Because I'm sick all of the time. So I thought it would be funny to be like, oh, you know what? I could help other people by playing a nurse.
Yeah.
It's taken me a while to like develop the lore. But the like patch notes that I've got at the moment is that she's two different people that were kidnapped by a mad scientist and then sewn into one.
Ooh.
Which is why a lot of her designs have medication on her ears, and so she like takes it so she doesn't fall apart. And like her whole motivation is to become two people to be again. Oh, sorry, individuals again. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I've still obviously got a lot more to work on, but that's what I've come up with so far.
Nice. I love that. Well, that's one of the really cool things about all that is the fact that like, one of the fun things about this whole thing is the fact that like as we do really cool things, looks like our chat's turned us green. How dare they?
Blue potions.
Blue potions all the day. Yeah, you're now blue potions and I'm green. But like I think it's really cool because, one of the biggest things that I love about being a VTuber is the freedom of expression in regards to like how we make our models look, how we make ourselves look. And then of course, depending on the model and the VTuber, we can make ourselves look different. Like for example, my chat has made us green and bluish in color, and now you're blue potions. And
yeah,
I think it's like one of the things that like it's such a very nifty and just a fun variety of stuff, because
it really is.
Because like VTubing is one of those things where there's really no limitation to what we can represent ourselves as, and there's really no limitation to like why our lore is as it is. Because what's really fun about this whole world is that our models, our identity is more or less always going to be unique to us, and I love the freedom that it brings about. And throughout my years of like watching other VTubers and other content creators, like I always love seeing the occasional problem where it's like, oh no, this person's copying this VTuber. And you know, one of the most common problems that VTubers tend to have is, you know, copy pasta, copy paste, and all that stuff, where it's like, oh, this person's this theme of VTuber, they're copying this guy. And for me, like, the most common thing is like, oh, you're an aquatic VTuber, how dare you be a shark? You're copying Shy Lily, Gaigura, or Gaugura, or and all that. And like, do you think, Pink Potionss, do you believe that people are copying because they're trying to copy bigger talents, or do you think there's just so many things that have already played out that it's impossible to be unique anymore?
I think it's case by case. Like, I myself have been called an Iron Mouse copy.
Oh,
because I'm pink.
How dare you be pink? Iron Mouse owns
God
pink.
forbid.
God forbid pink exists.
Yeah, I do think it's case by case basis, because there have obviously been some people who have traced big VTubers and have copied them bit by bit. But we're in a day and age where nothing is like truly unique. And you can't, I mean, you do have original ideas, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's unproductive to spend more time picking on other people and their models and designs than, I don't know, just making up a new one.
Oh yeah. And you know, one of the biggest things like too is like, you know, there's only so many ways you can reinvent the wheel. There's only so many ways that you can actually, like, you know, make a model different and make a model dorky and fun. Like for me, I like your model design. I have not seen very many, if any, like, you know, nurse style VTubers, and like your model still, in my opinion, is very unique and, you know, has a very fun feel about it. And again, like the whole Iron Mouse appeal, it's like, oh, meh. And you know, I've had people be like, oh, you're just a Zentreya model copy. It's like, well, technically we have the same model artist, but it's fine. But and like right now, like everyone's got like a fun like little VTuber. Everyone's going into VTubing right now. And what's also kind of interesting about that too is I've been seeing a lot on Twitter that, you know, a lot more creators are feeling basically separate from the VTuber space. And I think it's interesting to see that for the most part, VTubers are starting to feel more disconnected from their community, all because of the recent clout chasing, all the recent pain. So like, have you ran into any struggles recently as a creator in the VTuber space?
Luckily, no.
Good.
I think mostly because I keep to my own community. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I have noticed an uprise of people kind of, you know, like starting VTubing for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I've seen, like, I've been friends with people who, like, start VTubing or start streaming in general just because they see it as, like, a possible source of income.
Oh, yeah.
Which, to some people, it can be, right? Sure. But, I think when you start with that kind of intention, and you don't get the outcome that you want, it kind of taints your view of the community, of streaming in general, which it should be fun, right? When you stream it, you should be doing it because you're having fun with it. I don't think, you know,
Nice.
I think you should just have fun with it, and, you know, if people cause issues, deal with it like adults, I think.
For sure. So now this is the question I like to ask every guest, especially who are fellow streamers. Potionss, do you consider yourself a hobbyist streamer or a streamer who is eventually going to be trying to go full time and make it a career?
Hobbyist first, because I genuinely do enjoy it, and my favorite part of streaming is interacting with my community and try and make very, like, interactive streams.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do horror nights every couple of weeks, and we'll have horror redeems, we'll have, like, horror, like, filters on, so it makes everything more scary. Obviously, I think most people would say if you can eventually turn it into a source of income, you know, whilst you're still having fun with it, it's just like an extra win.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think everyone wants to be able to hopefully have that feeling, have that enjoyment of being able to say, hey, I'm still loving streaming and I'm getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Now you talked about, like, you know, horror game stuff, and I wanted to kind of ask you, because we had some questions given in our Discord here today about your model and about you as a person, and our viewers have some questions for Pink. The first question,
brilliant.
So the first question for Pink here today is, we have one that is simply, what is your favorite horror game and what made you choose a spooky nurse design?
Horror game wise, I don't know if you can classify it as a horror game, but like Left 4 Dead 2.
Technically, it's a horror game. It's zombies and spooky things.
Yeah. I recently played Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time, and I really, really enjoyed it. And that's definitely a top contender.
Nice.
Spooky model wise, I've always been. I mean, in real life, I'm like very alternative and like punk.
Yeah.
But obviously, I dress dark hair, everything. But my favorite color is pink, so I thought it's kind of cool to mix both aesthetics. And that's where the whole like gory pink cute stuff comes.
Gotta love pastel goths.
Right.
It was kind of funny. Is so I currently am promised to my chat that I'm gonna start playing through Amnesia. Because my editor, he's always like he tells me it's like the horror game of all horror games. It's such a fun one and just a well-made one for its time. So eventually I'm gonna try to get Amnesia and get that started for myself, which I think would be really fun, honestly.
Oh, definitely.
So we have another.
It's so good at building up scary.
Oh yeah, we love scary. Like for me, like so for me, this is my thing with horror games, right? I'm not scared. I'm that really dumb scared where I will want to go. I will giggle while I'm screaming in fear because like I'm playing like Outlast, for example. If I'm getting chased by God knows what, I'm gonna be laughing the whole way because I'm so bad at fear that it's just funny. My heart's racing out of my chest, but I'm laughing the whole way, or I will run into the danger. Like whenever I play, like for example, whenever I play like Minecraft with my wife, for example, and we're going into like a complete unknown, she's over here like having an anxiety attack, she's crying, she's scared shitless, and then I'm over here like cowabunga, yeah, and then I'm just like, it's like, look at that, wins.
Yeah, my chat likes to bully me for that because they I get like genuine fear when I play, so it's it's such a lose-lose. I think that's why my chat likes me playing it so much, because they can sense some genuine fear, and like there's so many clips of me just like screeching and screaming because I get caught off guard. It's like, oh
my goodness, he gets really scared.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's how it goes. So
right.
So in regards to that, like, we have another question here by our viewers here today, and another one was, if you were to get sent into a horror game, which one would you want to be sent into?
Oh god. I think somebody mentioned Dead by Daylight before, and I'd probably only say that because there's less strenuous tasks to get through.
I was gonna say,
like, it's just 4 generators and you'll be fine.
I thought you were gonna say it was like a hear me out case, like, hey yo, I'm just saying, Trapper looking kind of, you know, that too. Oh, some
horror killers are hot.
I mean, we all know every horror game, like, evil dude is like the biggest, most muscular, burly man or woman in the background. You're like, yes, put me on that hook.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Looking at you, Pyramid Head.
Hey, you know, I'm just saying, the Huntress is by far she's my girl.
Real.
I love Huntress. Like I love playing Dead by Daylight. I'm a killer main myself, and I adore playing as Huntress and Ghostface. That's another one I like playing as. But what's
nice.
Like it's funny. Like when it comes to like horror games for me, like I am really bad at taking in jump scares though, because what I tend to find is like, you know, for me, oh, there's an echo going on.
I think so.
I'm not seeing an echo on my end. But
so, how about now?
Let's see. I think we're good. Whoa.
There you go. I think I fixed it.
Maybe had turn that off. Okay, it's gone.
Okay, it's gone. There we go.
Thank you, chat. We love it. This is why we have chats, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta make sure those technical difficulties get squished very quickly.
Real.
But yeah, no. So like, like when it comes to like general like horror games for me, like I like jump scare horror games a lot because, you know, if it's like scary monster, I'm not that really scared because like I love monsters. I'm a big, like, for me, if I can play a monster in a video game on 100%, you know, like
Nice.
I'm that guy when I'm in horror movies. I cheer for the monster. Like if I'm watching Alien vs Predator, I'm cheering for the alien to wreck the whole human beings. You know, I'm watching Jurassic Park. I want the dinosaurs to win.
I don't blame you. They're so cool though, aren't they?
Oh, they're so wonderful. They're amazing.
I've just got into the Alien universe recently.
Ooh.
I mean, I'd seen one or two of the movies, or like Aliens versus Predator years ago when it came out.
Yeah.
But like loads of Alien versus Predator like videos have shown up on my feed, and I was like, hold on, the lore goes really, really deep.
Oh,
I'm actually really interested in this.
Yeah, it really does go a lot deeper than you think about it, because like, you know, it's like, oh, here's the xenomorph, here's the evolutionary process of how the xenomorph came to be, and then it's like, oh, this is the culture of the predators and how they work and how they function and so on. Like those are some of my favorite movies, just because like the character design is classic and iconic as hell. And I used to watch a lot of the AVP movies just on repeat for so long, because it's just so much fun for me. And again, I love the monsters.
They are though. The designs are cool too as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we have oh my god, this is a fantastic question. So speaking about killers and monsters and destructions, we have a viewer asking us, if you could be a roommate with any serial killer, who would it be?
Oh god.
Like I think there's a lot to unpack there, because like if you think about it like this, like if you're in a roommate in a flat with another serial killer, you know, their section's gonna be bloody, it's gonna have like a processing section, or if you're dealing with a monster, it's gonna be converted into like a nest.
That's true. Ooh.
That's it.
I would probably go for somebody whose victim type isn't me, so I wouldn't have any sort of risk of me being in the crossfire.
Or you're making pancakes and they're over here like hey Pink, and they're all just like fresh from a scene. It's like, what you do today? It's like, oh, you know, just went on a jog, huh? Yep.
Yeah, as long as they label their stuff and leave it in their part of the fridge, yeah, I'm fine. Let's leave me out of it.
I think for me, I think I would have to have a roommate killer who is hyper obsessive over somebody else, and then and then what I'll do is I will sit with them in their room, and then we'll talk about why this man or woman is supposedly the coolest and most must-have person ever. It's like, oh, he's so cute, he's got a nice butt. It's like, oh, they do, and so on. It's like, oh, amazing.
And then they'll just see you as like a friend that you can talk to. It's just a win-win.
Oh yeah, you gotta talk about it. It's like, why doesn't he love me? It's like, well, have you tried giving him flowers? The flowers all died. It's like, well, don't dip them in blood first.
Don't follow them home.
Don't follow them home, or at least be 2 car lengths away. That's the rule.
Exactly. Okay, so famous serial killers are coming to mind, but like not like a mix of both real people and fictional. I'd say if it had to be a real person, maybe, oh my god, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh my god.
Because he doesn't go for women. Fictional, Stu from Scream, because Matthew Lillard is so cool.
I can't think of, I don't know enough about like IRL people, but like I feel like I would want, if the, like, assuming this wasn't like a feral like death creature, I would want the alien for Alien vs Predator, because I think number one, it'd be really cool to have like an egg chamber just chilling out, because like my house would be so like temperature controlled, but also just like the eggs just look really cool. But then also, you know, like if I ever wanted to get rid of something, just have my roommate spit on it and then just melt. Like, oh, when you take the
garbage disposal. Aren't they like also based off of cats? Because they move like cats.
And they probably do. Okay, that would be kind of funny though. Imagine if they had to like mocap it and they just attached a mocap suit on a cat and said, "There's your alien." Like that would just be funny. That would absolutely be hilarious. Like I would love to find.
Cat alien movie.
I would love a horror game where the creature and the doom creature is just genuinely a cat, chasing you.
I need that.
I need that in my life.
That'd be so good.
Death kitty. But like that, I love that. Like that's kind of like a fun. Those are actually really fun questions. Like, oh, I know why there was a thing. Haha, I found it. There was a tab open on my side that had volume on it. How dare you, tabs? Get wrecked. It's fine.
Nice.
But yeah, so I think like one of the funny things about like, you know, as VTubers, like a lot of times our models are oftentimes our identifier for what we like in life. Like for example, if you have like a really spooky model or like really like a graphic model, you know, people are like, oh, you must like horror games because, you know, you're full of blood, or you have a knife, or you have a syringe with things in it. And then like for me, I've never really thought about this until I just talked about it, but like I find that, you know, I oftentimes really love future tech and mech stuff. So that's why my model has a lot of like blues and a lot of like robotic parts. And, you know, unintentionally, I never thought about that until this very moment. But, you know, I think that, oh, that has a cool toggle. What do you mean? You can
scalpels.
You can scalpel juggle. Oh, you're cooler than me. I'm just gonna.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm just gonna exit here. Just okay. Bye guys. They're part of the show. They're the hosts. Backstage. Jerry, get the job. Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, you're totally safe.
You're totally safe, guys. Oh,
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
You're good.
It's amazing. But no, that is really cool though. But yeah, I think that it really is interesting. And so today we're gonna get back into talking about today's silver lining and talking about some of the tropes and some of the issues that I feel like some VTubers tend to have been staged. I have been upstaged 100%. And don't forget, guys, if anyone who's here today watching us on the live stream, don't forget to do exclamation point collab and check out Pink Potionss on their official Twitch, as they are also live. But yeah, anyhow, so Pink, I want to talk today about some of the common tropes and some of the kind of challenges that I feel like many VTubers we tend to, you know, go through. And you know, so if I can find my question sheet, I had it here. I swear. So Pink, I think that when it comes, one of the most common gripes that I see smaller VTubers tend to talk about is the fact that they believe they will not see success unless they incorporate some large degree of sex appeal. You know, like people who claim and people who are all about talking about, oh, my model is not sexy enough. I don't have any spicy artwork to spice up my channel. So like, and it's really, in my opinion, it's a dumb take, because you don't need sex appeal to be successful in the content space. I think it works, but it's not a way that people only grow. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
no, I agree.
So like for me, I think it's harder too, because like, you know, in my experience, a lot of female presenting models in the VTuber space, I feel like go through this struggle a lot, because people see anime women on screen, they assume that they'll do anything to get fame, and henceforth they'll make their models ridiculous, or they'll make their models like, you know, spicier. Do you have you personally had like gone through that, where you've had first time viewers try to simp over you?
I have like my regular viewers who like joke flirt, but luckily it's never really gone that far. I do personally feel though, like sex appeal it does sell, right? But I feel like it's quite limiting. You're kind of putting yourself in a box. You know, like you see some streamers who do the girlfriend experience, and it's like, it's perfectly fine if you do that and you're in your right to do so, but I feel like you can't really complain when you feel like it's hard to move out of it, because that's what you chose, if you know what I mean. But you know what, more power to you if you want to do that. No, I don't think I would be able to do it, because I'd just give myself secondhand embarrassment.
No, and I think, and that's like the biggest thing too, is like, I think one of the biggest challenges I think VTubers tend to oftentimes have is that the moment we go down that path of content, is it's really hard to break out of that mold, or the viewers that we accumulate from that path tend to stick with us over the long run. For example, if, for example, I chose to, you know, do a lot of NSFW graphic designing and I drew a lot of like sexy stuff, a lot of my viewers and or subscribers that I may obtain from that will only want to watch me because I've obtained that notoriety of doing that sort of thing. And vice versa, you know, if you have VTubers out there who are more sexually themed, you know, they may get a lot of viewers and subscribers for that reason. But then the moment that they are no longer comfortable with that, I think you lose a lot of people because, oh, they're not doing the thing that I really like, so now they're gonna lose all their people. And like, yeah, for me, I've been trying so hard to be wholesome, to be like not necessarily family friendly, but you know, applicable to all ages and styles of people.
Yeah.
Now,
I get that.
Yeah, and do you think parasocial relationships kind of happen more often because we're VTubers and because we're not using our actual faces and identities?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the case because it's easier for people to grow attached because they don't have a face to grow attached to you. You're kind of just like a cool, to them, sorry, you're kind of just like a cool anime persona. And especially, I don't know, especially if you're like a smaller VTuber where you have a more chance to like actually interact with your chat and like spend more time with them one-on-one than you would with a bigger VTuber. It gives people more incentive to like develop that parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that does make it kind of worse.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think that's like kind of like the scariest thing about it too, because like, you know, a lot of times I feel like when viewers see VTubers for the first time, we are this fantastical anime character. We are this personality that is so vividly different than what we like possibly see on the internet. And it's like, oh my God, Nico Silverado is this really cute looking person who has this stuff and this stuff happening in life on their channel lore. I want to be a part of it, and I want to be part of everything. And there's a fine line. There's a fine line between being a part of the lore and then being like forcibly making it like really creepy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my question for you, Pink, is like, how do you handle being seen while being behind like a digital mask? You know, like how do you handle like the vision, like the fact, like how do you handle people seeing you as a VTuber?
Well, actually, I struggled for a really long time with just streaming in general, I guess, because of it, because I find it difficult to be perceived. If, you know, I've been streaming technically for 4 years now, but recently is the only other time I finally, I mean, maybe it's because I am, you know, getting older and I'm hitting my mid-20s, so I'm finally starting to have that brain development. But, you know, I'm kind of getting over the social anxiety of having people watch you. They're perceiving you as like an online space. I guess I haven't had too much of an issue with actually dealing with people though, because most of the people that I've started streaming with are like actual friends of mine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I originally wanted to be, you know, somebody who played a character, but like whenever I just turn the stream on, it's an anime character there. But I just, you know, I like to think that I'm just very myself. Yeah.
No, and I feel that because, you know, there's always like there's a very distinct separation of types of VTubers. There are the like lore heavy, lore accurate VTubers who basically turn on acting 100 and they just do nothing but become that character. Like their lore is the only thing they talk about. They don't have a government name. They don't live in our current universe, you know? And I think there's a degree of admiration for me when it comes to meeting creators who can do that, because I think that's such a new level of stress. That's a new level of effort that you are having to now remember. Hey, you don't know what Europe is. You live in 3055 in this very vividly weird location. And I don't know, like I don't think I myself could ever turn on 100% lore accurate, because for me, my lore accurate would be, oh, I live in the internet. I don't know what the outside world looks like because I literally live on the grid. I'm from the Tron universe, you know? Like, like, oh, you downloaded better internet? Great, our highways are bigger.
Yeah, it's definitely like a full-time, you've got to be on at all times. I don't think my brain has the capacity for that. And you're right, mad respect to people who can, because you just have to constantly be in character the whole time, and I just I don't know, I don't think I've got the energy for it. But it's incredible when you see someone who is able to do that, and I'm just like, well, I inspiring, but I just couldn't.
And you know, I think like one of the biggest things is, you know, it's the ability to balance role play and the ability to balance authentic self-expression. Because, you know, I think that obviously, like, the moment we go live, we are obligated, in a sense, as creators to, in a way, find ways to, you know, be more above and beyond with our emotions and our reactions than we are used to in general. Because, you know, like, when we go live, we're entertainers. We are entertainers, and it's our duty, it's our goal to, you know, actually, you know, talk to people in a way that's not like, I'm not normally this chatty. Yeah. Like, when, like, outside of streams, I am not necessarily a wallflower, like really reserved, but like I am a very different individual in real life when it comes to like my level of interactiveness. It's just something about like how I am on stream. So for you, Pink, my question, I guess, for you is like, how do you personally think you balance your authenticity versus your role playing when you're streaming?
Well, I'd like to say I'm actually quite similar to how I am when I'm on stream, because I like to be very forward and just like, I don't know, myself, because I you know, interactive. In the last couple years have been like, I grew up very antisocial, you know, introvert. But it's taken me years, but I'm like teaching myself to grow out of it and becoming very social and interactive, and I'm going out into more social spaces. And I think it's definitely helped like better me in terms of speaking to people, and I feel like streaming has introduced me to interacting with people on a different kind of level.
Yeah.
So I like to kind of just channel my social self through streaming, I think.
And that's honestly, that's really good. That's really cool to see that, because like, I think that's one really cool thing that's really developed within the streaming world is the fact that we as creators have found a way to interact with people in the most comfortable setting possible. You know, we have like, we're not showing our face, we're in our pajamas, we're in our snuggies, we have our animals of choice, and you know, we can talk however we wish to talk without risking or without jeopardizing our personal comforts. And I love that, and I'm very thankful that we can have that opportunity to have that, because again, it's really quite interesting, because, you know, I think that in a lot of ways, a lot of VTubers tend to forget that, you know, at the end of the day, in the long run, in my opinion at least, our community is going to be more interested in our personal selves versus our models and our lore like universe. Because, you know, I love being able to establish that IRL connection with my chat, where I can talk to them about, oh, hey, my wife is doing this in real life, or hey guys, I'm gonna go check out this stuff, because it's that connection that you make with your viewers over time that really solidifies like the enjoyment of streaming, in my opinion.
Yeah, it feels more authentic.
Yeah, and we love authenticity.
Yeah, because even with me, I'm very like TMI. Like I'm a very open book, so I don't like sharing anything and everything. So like, whenever something happens and I want to share it with chat, I'll be like, oh my god, guys, guess what happened at the, I don't know, the Comic-Con after party last week? And then, you know, it's a very interesting, it just opens so many doors for so many different topics to discuss with people.
start stream. Hey guys, you want to learn about the dead body I saw last week? It's like, oh my god, Mika, what'd you do? It's like, okay guys, if anyone who's in this chat, you are officially now accomplices. You can't tell the police. It's like, what do you mean? But it really is like it's so fun to you know, incorporate, you know, the day to day, because you know, for myself, I probably share more about myself than I should to my chat, because
absolutely same.
Because I love, because like my chat knows a lot about my IRL stuff. Like they don't know where I live, obviously, but I talk about my day-to-day struggles. I talk about my plans. I talk about the things I'm trying to do, like in my house. Hell, I recently moved, and I showed my chat my new house, you know, and
nice.
it was like it's something that I feel like I'm very passionate and very thankful that I have the ability to, you know, do things myself and to, you know, be who I am. And, you know, and apparently your chat says you live under a bridge, so you better have a bridge. I need a bridge stream tomorrow. Bridge stream.
That's what he says.
But yeah, like I love the ability just to have that openness with my community.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself like, you know, moderately open? Like basically, how, if you don't want to disclose this, well, we can go to the next thing, but I would like to know, like, do you like talking about IRL events with your chat?
Yeah. Like I'll tell them, like I had to reschedule Friday stream, and I was just like, I had to schedule, like, I had IRL plans. I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm going out with some friends. We're going to like a music event. Or like, for example, we like to call her Mama Pink, but my mum is very interactive as well. She'll come in and start talking to me, and
nice.
A lot of my chat like interacting with her, because she knows a lot about anime. She knows a lot about games. She actually got me into anime.
Nice.
So we've got like a whole segment that we like to call like Mama Pink segment. So like they interact with like different parts of my life that I never would have expected.
Yeah.
So it's nice. I like it.
That's very
obviously without giving up like my address and stuff, but you know.
Yeah, and like I think my chat does the same thing too, because my wife every so often comes into the stream and like verbalizes. I have certain basically what's kind of funny. So my editor and his girlfriend, we have like a really funny thing. So I stole my editor from his girlfriend, but then his girlfriend stole my wife. So like nice. His girlfriend calls my wife, and then I'm basically like pseudo married to my editor. It's just like it's a really like it's just such a fun thing, because like now like what's really fun is like my wife knows and is very involved in my streaming stuff, and I'm really thankful for that. But no one else in my mother kind of knows overall, but like not many people in my like family know or could ever understand streaming, because I'm the tech guy.
Yeah. Very
few people in my family actually play video games to the same level that I do, for example. Like I don't think I could ever share my I don't think I could ever tell my father, hey, so I'm an anime guy on the internet, and here's what I look like. I am this really small, rounded, baby-faced looking guy. And he would just look at me with a dead stare like, what?
Yeah, I tried to introduce my grandma to it. I was just like, oh, she's like, what have you been doing? And I was just like, oh, I showed her this, and she was like, that's nice. And I was like, I don't think she understands the concept of being an anime girl online.
It's so, yeah. 30 years funny. Down the line, it's like, hey grandpa, what were you doing in your late 20s? It's like, oh, I was a boy on the internet, you see, this is me. It's like, but grandpa, that guy looks like he's 6. It's like, yep, that was me. Made me wonder how I got here.
It's like those memes where it's like, oh, I found a picture of your grandfather in their 20s. It's just a picture of your model. Oh
my god, yes. Honestly, 100%. That is a mood. That is an everything that I've witnessed.
Oh god.
Oh god. So like for you, Pink, in regards to like, you know, the being seen, what's something that your audience doesn't see but you wish that they understood about VTubing?
I would say tech issues, but I'm not very good at hiding the fact that I have tons of tech issues. Um, One thing that I don't think I think I've spoken about it a few times, but I've never really gone too deep into it, is
Mm-hmm.
the anxiety that I used to get that came with
Mm,
streaming.
yeah.
Um, it took me a really, really long time over, but I used to get really severe like streaming anxiety, and it was why I would go on like hiatuses for like months at a time. Is because like, it's funny because the minute you click the stream button, it's easy, it's fun to talk to people, but it's
Mhm.
like, oh god, you know, you have to like put yourself out there, and people are watching you, and you're like, you know, it's like you're. I know that you've got like an anime front and you're streaming and no one can actually see you, but it's still you to a degree.
Oh yeah.
So you're like, it's like you're putting yourself out there, and for a really long time, that was just like, oh, am I ready to put myself? Because my entire time on the internet, which has been almost 10 plus years now, because I've been on the internet since like 2011, um,
Mhm.
I've always been a very, very private person. Like my family, like absolutely punched into me that internet safety is important, and you should never give out your details ever.
Oh yeah.
So as somebody who has been like very private and like confidential for like over 10 years, suddenly just like throwing myself out and talking to strangers was quite anxiety inducing for me.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Because there really is a genuine difference, you know, because like with VTubing and live streaming in general, like you have to be very trained to know when do you not talk about something and when do you talk about something, because
Yes.
it's so easy to accidentally say, oh, I'm going to insert a specific restaurant or insert specific event. Then, you know, like you have those people out, because there are creeps out there. There are
Oh yeah.
wild people, and every so often, like I'll look on Twitter and I'll find that there are so many individuals who, for some ungodly reason, will find the weirdest way to talk to VTubers, and
Oh god, yeah.
like it's this like, and I know, and I really hope that it's just people trying to get those like really weird like reactions where it's like, yes, the moment I saw you I fell in love and everything in my power will be dedicated to your success. And I had a guest last week talk to me about how some guy apparently did like a thing for Pokimane, and like their like big like she had like some like humongous subathon, and the man dropped like a 5-figure donation to Pokimane,
Oh god.
and supposedly he knew where she lived, and I guess like he
Oh
assumed
god.
because he donated so much money that he was like allowed a privilege of some degree. And you know, like my brain just like can't wrap around that, because like, you know, like to me, my current struggle as a VTuber or even as a content creator is people donating large sums of money to a creator just because they can.
Yeah. Oh my god. I watched someone once donate 60k, and so the only reason I didn't donate more is because there was a limit. And then like he started treating everyone else like in chat like shit. Like, oh, you guys are just angry that you can't do this, and it's just like I feel like some people who do have the ability to do that definitely do start to gain like a sense of entitlement towards the streamers. I think it does just like fold back into like the parasocial likeness of it all,
Oh
where it's
yeah.
like obviously everyone should appreciate the help if they're like getting that amount of money, and I completely understand that because they're basically funding your lifestyle and your like quality of life at that point. But it definitely does get to a point where a lot of people forget like this person's a human being too. You are not entitled to their like time or personal information just because you willingly give them money.
Oh yeah. No, and like again, like to me, like that, I just could not. God, 60k.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I would
It was more than that too.
I would be a nervous wreck, because my biggest fear of receiving a large sum of money from a stranger is I wouldn't know how to thank somebody appropriately for that. But then also, I would feel like I would be financially obligated to do something extraordinary for that person. Like, it's like, oh, this next stream is brought to you by such and such individual, or this person is now like a VIP, because you know it's 60K. Like if someone walked into my stream, dropped me $50,000, and I just had that in my life, like I'm not gonna lie, there would be a lot of things I would say, so what do you want? because I wouldn't know what to do with that, because I feel like in a way it's almost mean to do that, because you put a streamer in such a weird bind, because you can't just say, oh hey, thanks, and then you can't just go on. You can't just like, no. If I had 50K, I would drop everything. I would just stop, and I'd be like, because like, one, that's a metric crap load of money, but then also that's a
life-changing amount of money.
That's a life-changing amount of money. And speaking of money, I ran into a Twitter post actually very recently that kind of like blew my mind, and you might have seen this. It was a Twitch streamer who was complaining that $10,000 a month was quote unquote not a lot of money for her lifestyle.
Oh my god, that hurt.
It hurt that hurt my soul, because like, I mean, even for me, like, I'm like, at my living conditions, I'm like $2,000 a month, you know, give or take, but that's also like rent, paying adult money and adult stuff, like, you know, like $10,000 a month would give me so much comfort and so much like ease of living, especially because like, you know, I'm currently paying for medical school, you know. Like,
no, I get that. It's so much money. It genuinely is a kind of amount of money that would improve your quality of life, like, but especially like, you know, just if you're not doing too well at the moment, or like if you have to pay like a medical bill, or like you're like in debt or something, if somebody were to give you that much monthly, it genuinely would just improve your life so much. By someone, I feel like by saying that, you know, that's not a lot, is a very privileged take.
It's a privileged take, but also I think it's one of those where it's not the paycheck that needs to be adjusted, it's your lifestyle. Because in my opinion, I've grown up to be a very like frivolous individual, or frugal. Basically, I don't spend that much money in comparison to most people. I don't like spending copious amounts. Like, to me, like, to say $10,000 is not a lot, especially as a streamer and a content creator, you're doing something insane. Like, unless like you have active staff, like unless you have like active staff that you're paying and you're making them pay like livable wages, then oh yeah, there's no reason you should be having that much money. Like, I know there are Twitch streamers out there who pay their mods and who pay like the people who are in their communities, and you know, that's amazing. Like, I would love to give some degree of financial compensation to the people in my life, but like, I don't know what I would do.
I feel like you actually have to go out of your way to spend that amount of money a month.
Like, I think, I agree. Like, you have to be like, hey, yo, you know, we can buy this for reasoning and giggles. It's like, oh, just give this person $1,000, but why? Because we can.
Oh god. I mean, I don't know. I feel like even after regular, you know, like bills, paying off everything that you need to pay, groceries, all that stuff, realistically, you should have like 7,000 left over. What do you mean? What do
you mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I do genuinely believe like it's just the people, you know, and like so talking about like, you know, the financial growth and like the level of streaming, basically. So Pink, if you like, would you ever want to get to a point in streaming where you could actually sustain yourself from just content creation?
Oh yeah, I feel like that's a given, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a win-win for me. Because I really enjoy doing it, and I enjoy interacting with my like chat. And I think I said this the other day. I said like, I really love, you know, the whole streaming and coming up with new interactive ideas, but the only issue is sometimes it requires like funding or like tech skills that I don't have, or like art skills that I don't have, which obviously you can you know, you can pay for editors, you can do commissions, all that kind of stuff to help you out.
Mm.
Because I think I've definitely spent quite a lot of like my own money like feeding back into my own streams to like up the quality. But just I do it like for myself, because I try to make content that I would want to watch, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should ever go into it like solely for the purpose of making money. I think that's just a plus. Also, I don't think content creation, unless you're as big as like, you know, like Pokimane and like PewDiePie and stuff, is very sustainable in the long run. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked that is because, you know, overall, when it comes to a lot of individuals and a lot of people will go into different educational routes, or different hobby lifestyles, and for a lot of people, they don't see gaming as like the end-all be-all career, or in very rare cases it's a simple case of pride, because you know, because like, for example, whenever I go into a party or I go into like a social event and like we explain to people like, oh, what does your wife do? I can tell her, oh, she's a veterinarian, she's a doctor, she's, you know, doing really cool things where she saves the lives of animals. And then it's like, oh, and then my wife will be like, oh, and people go to, oh, what does your husband do? And it's like, oh, he's a gamer, he's a graphic designer. Because unfortunately, when people hear the word graphic designer as a profession, they think I am like a starving artist in a basement, just drawing smut stickers, and it's like, hey, you want some gamer stickers? Or and it's like, oh, your husband plays video games. Damn, you must be paying all the bills. And it's like, well, actually, I'm paying for my wife's bills. So get Janet.
There's such a stigma behind it as well.
And
like. Like being an artist is still a very like tough career, especially for like in the industry. Like my friend is an animator, and she worked on like Disney movies. She like helped make some of those, and like then her agency made her redundant. It's like really hard to get into. But like obviously some people are in the industry and they're doing perfectly fine. But it doesn't matter what you are. If you tell people you're an artist, they're automatically going to assume that like, you know, oh, you're broke and you're starving. But if you play games, it's very much like, oh, you play games, and it's just like, they're not that bad, I promise.
They're not that bad. And like another point like I wanted to like get into too is like, you know, the reason why I asked if you wanted to make this like a livable like career point is because, you know, a lot of people go to school, or they have like a lot of aspirations, and then streaming for many people, especially in today's age, is a spur of the moment decision to get into, because up until very recently, in my opinion, streaming has never been a very viable source of income. It's always been, just like 10 years ago, for example, in order to get money in gaming, you either had to be a really, really good Let's Player, or you had to be an MLG professional, like competitive competitive gamer in gaming. And those were like the only two ways you could make money in gaming. Now, with things like TikTok, Instagram, and so on, you have ways of just, you know, making short clips, and you can make a couple $100 every so often. It's like, boom, there's some side money. And you know, it comes down to the whole thing, like, where it's like, would you abandon your current education and like all the things you've learned just to become a full-time streamer, you know? Because like in my profession, my profession as a designer and a graphic designer, I can turn that into content, and I can use my degree as a way to make money and still do content creation. But like, if someone was like a veterinarian or a carpenter or even a private chef, you can do something with that. But like, would you like Pink, would you abandon your current education and career path if you could become a full-time streamer and successfully?
No. I think that you should always finish your, I mean, I understand the appeal if you had the choice to become a full-time streamer, but I feel like that's something that can wait, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing education, at least finish it first, so you've got it, you know, you've got the degree, you've got something to fall back on. But if content creation works out, because if in that case, you're just like, oh, you know, crap, oh, I didn't finish my degree because I started streaming, like, and now you're like double, I don't know if I can swear, but if you're double messed up, you're double fucked, because you now have no, like, you know, your streaming career like flops or something, which hopefully, in this hypothetical case it doesn't. If that was the case, you're left out two double negatives, right?
Mm-hmm. And
so at least get the degree. Plus, yeah, in general, schooling is good. Get a degree.
Oh yeah, get the education, ladies and gentlemen. Because I've been seeing also a lot of content creators, and especially like larger Twitch creators, they have been making the statements that quote unquote gaming is dead, because IRL streams have been up on the rise lately, and a lot of face cam streamers have been kind of stepping away from the gaming scene, and apparently IRL is like the new current trend. And the reason I talk about this is because streaming in general is a constantly evolving platform and a constantly evolving situation, because what tends to happen is what's very famous and very trendy for the next 2-3 months is going to be old news, and it's not going to happen. The reason why I'd be very scared to even be a content creator in the full-time world is I would have to do so much personal research to make sure that everything that I'm doing is trendy, is current, and can actually bring in people.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, it
to
so much work.
Keep up on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I think there's always going to be a supply and demand when it comes to gaming and stuff, because it's been around for years. I mean, what D&D has been around since the 80s. I think gaming will always have a market, especially with new gen kids. For example, I've got younger brothers, two younger brothers, and they are getting into gaming. They both have two very different genre types of games. One of them likes to play Call of Duty, PvP combat games, whereas the other one likes to play more simulation type games. So I feel I feel gaming is never going to be a genre that dies out, because a lot of people start when they're kids and just grow up with it. So
yeah. And so do you feel there's been a shift? Have you personally been noticing a shift in your preferred streaming platform? Have you basically noticed big changes that have required you to make adjustments to how you do streaming?
Luckily, no.
Good. That's really good to see.
I don't really stay notified in the news when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I luckily haven't really been affected.
That's good. Because for me, I've experienced a lot of changes in the art category because of the inclusion of AI and the inclusion of generative artwork and generative videos even. And there's been there's many average listeners who are oh god, he's talking about AI again. But to keep it short and sweet this time around, folks, AI has required me to be very aware, but also to make a lot of adjustments about the space. And what I wanted to ask you about here, Pink, is as a creator for yourself, I'm assuming you have a genre of games that you like to play, right?
Yeah.
So have you personally ever felt boxed in by your brand, your model, your genre that you're known as playing, or do you feel comfortable enough to be able to break free and play what you want?
I think I'm lucky enough to just get to play games and stuff that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
My chat definitely does have a preference in terms of what they would want me to stream in terms of horror games and stuff, because they find it a lot more entertaining to watch me jump out of my skin.
Yeah.
But I definitely have felt that I don't know, I guess I'd call this just streaming pressure in general, where oh, you should play the hottest new game out that everyone's watching in order to get more people to watch. But at the same time, it kind of conflicts with me, because I'm just you shouldn't just be playing new games that everyone's liking just to have more fans to interact with. You should be playing it because you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, I do try and just play whatever I'm in the mood for.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's really important to be very. It's very important to be very apparent and very honest with yourself, with your chat, because it's super simple and in a way super easy to just be locked in to one genre, to one game, because there are content creators who are just like, oh, I'm gonna watch Tim the Tap Man because I know he's probably playing Call of Duty, and it's like, okay, that's all he's gonna play probably. But then it's like, you know, variety streamers are, it's difficult to be. I feel like variety streaming is a very touch and go style of streaming, because with variety streaming, we play the games that we want, we play the games that we're really excited about, and it's really cool because, you know, our audience is going to expect us to play the newest games or to play maybe games that we haven't heard of, and, you know, to provide new perspective. But then, like, to be a gamer who is known for a certain type of genre, I feel like getting locked into that becomes a little bit more mentally draining. Like, I couldn't be, I don't think I could be a League of Legends streamer or a Mecha Break streamer where all I play for 6 to 8 hours a day is just that one game.
Yeah. I don't even do that in my private life where I play games that long, unless it's like a game that I'm fixating on.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, I'm obsessed with this game right now. I'll maybe play it for 6 to 8 hours in my downtime and then like put it away for a while. But I don't even think I play like PvP games like in my own time for that long, let alone on stream.
Like, I can do it for like 1 or 2 days. Like, the only game that I've ever like hyper committed on and played it for 3 months straight every single day was Baldur's Gate 3.
Real, it's such a good game.
It was so fun. Like, I played my very first solo campaign in Baldur's Gate for 3 hours, or I did about 6-hour streams almost every day for an entire month because it came out during a summer break, and I committed my soul to that game. And I had people in my chat saying, oh god, he's still playing Baldur's Gate. And like, that was probably like the only time and the only experience in my streaming life where I didn't care what my viewers were or my people were. I was just having such a genuine, like, I love this game moment that I was like, I must play it.
Mine was, because I did this on stream for a little bit and I used it as motivation to stream because I was going through a bit of a dry patch. But the only game I've been so hyper obsessed with was Cyberpunk 2077. Oh my god, it is to this day my favorite game of all time.
There you go.
And I first started playing it during a patch of unemployment, so I had the free time to do it. I would sit there and play it for 13-hour segments. Wake up, get ready, play Cyberpunk, go to bed. And then so I'd stream it and be like, guys, the only reason I'm streaming right now in this dry patch is because I get to play Cyberpunk. The only game I've ever 100%ed.
Oh, that is awesome. And you know, honestly, like, it's weird like what games will do that. You know? It's weird what games will do that. Thank you for the biddies, by the way.
I know.
I
go.
Roblox? You know, I've actually never played Roblox. I'm an individual that when I see games like Roblox and Minecraft, up until very recently, I thought those games were kind of like, I don't need to really ever play those types of games, right? Because like, I hated the visuals of Minecraft and I hated the visuals of Roblox.
Really?
Because like, to me, I was like, because I never played, up until about 2 or 3 years ago, was my very first time ever playing Minecraft.
Wow.
Because the reason is because like, I didn't like the squares. I didn't like the resolution style of it, and to me, like, it just blew. Like, it wasn't my shtick. Like, I like playing games like Ark Survival Evolved because you know, it's a game that is simple, it's fun, it's high resolution, it's buggy, but it was fun. But like, I can't play Roblox though because like, it just looks dumb to me.
No, that's fine. That's fair. That's a stylistic choice.
But
with Roblox, though, unlike Minecraft, it's I mean, I understand if you don't like the visual style, that's perfectly fine. But it's more of a host, if that makes sense. Whereas people can make their own games and then upload it. It's like a faceted like development. I've seen a lot of like creators make like really good like 4K like horror games, and because apparently the engine that's used in Roblox is really good for making games. So I think a lot of like beginner creators who want to get into like the creative space use Roblox as like an engine to do that, like a tool. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, completely get it. The blocky art style took me a really long time to get over, but yeah, I think it can be used as a tool.
I'm currently in my Minecraft era right now, actually.
Nice.
Because my wife grew up on Minecraft. That was like her jam, and like she kind of taught me she got me into playing Minecraft recently, and I've been enjoying it a little bit more frequently. And they just recently did a really beautiful update to the game, and it makes it like the base game now looks modded almost because of how visually nice it is, and I love that personally. So for myself, you know, it's really nice, it's fun, and it allows me to, you know, enjoy myself very much so. And
I get that.
And I've been learning to kind of like, you know, expand my horizons, because like for me personally, when as a gamer, I will play survival games, I will play story-rich games, and anything that's like magic and fantasy based. I found that like my personal identity as a streamer is that I do not like playing PvP games, and I do not like playing FPSs typically, because I'm not good at shooting. I tried playing a game called Sniper Elite, which is like has a higher skill gap when it comes to like, you know, shooting long distances. I whiff. Whenever I have a gun, whiff. He's 3 feet in front of me, whiff. Like I get known as Nico Whifferado, and I'm like, no.
Oh my god.
But
yeah. I get that.
And
I've never really played PvP games. Besides Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, like
that was new.
Yeah, I've been playing a game called Mecha Break lately, and that has been like the most fun I've had in a PvP game in a very long time. Because like I love mechs, I love robots, anything that has like, you know, Gundam style, anything, game on, it's mine. And that's like it's like the first PvP game that I can actually like do some fun and actually like get some progress in. Because like, I will play almost any game. I will play anything as long as it's not a sport game, because like I don't know how to play most sports in real life, and I get frustrated where it's like I'm trying to play like NBA 2K and it's like, oh, basketball foul, technical foul. It's like, but what
you need to know the rules.
Yeah, like if I gotta know the rules of the sport, and it's like hyper complex, can't do it, because it's like, what do you mean I can't break his shins? There's too many limitations, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't find sports interesting, so it doesn't really, you know, aid for me. There's no point in playing a sports game if I don't enjoy sports in the first place.
Oh yeah. So Pink, like the next concept I want to kind of talk to you about in regards to like, you know, some of the common VTuber challenges and VTuber tropes is the challenges of collaboration. Because Blairen's Ball is easier. It is easier. We love Blairen's Ball. I love Blairen's Ball actually. It's like, so one of the common things like is the environment of collaborations. The environments of collabs have drastically changed over the past couple of months, in my opinion, because, you know, collaborations are a great way to make connections. Because for those who do not know, this is legitimately the first time Pink and I have ever actually sat in a Discord call together, and I think this is going swimmingly. But like,
I think so.
It's one of those situations where collabs are difficult because of the problem that you don't know who you're getting involved with, and people are getting more and more afraid of ulterior motives when you're doing collaborations, because like, oh, you're collabing with this slightly larger creator to leech the viewership or to get their audience to see you more. And it's one of those like really wild things where you're talking to somebody who is, you know, genuinely interested about, you know, doing a small stream with you, and it's fantastic. And I'm trying to get better about inviting people to collabs myself.
I get that.
You know
I think I just get social anxiety about, like, I'm just too nervous to reach out. That's why all of the collabs I've ever done have been with like my actual friends, because I think it's kind of difficult to reach out to people.
is difficult because like, you know, for me, like this podcast has been my main way of finding a way to talk to people, because like funnily enough, like a secondary method I've been using with this podcast is basically I have a 2-hour conversation with a person and I get to find out, okay, could I see doing a collab with them in the future, or hey, could I, you know, do more stuff, because you really don't know who you have in your streams. And you know, the biggest thing is you gotta learn you gotta figure out what the energies are with who you're gonna collab with. You know, are you gonna have a chatty Cathy? Are you gonna have a kind of like a more timid, more casual individual, or are you gonna have a very loud and proud individual? And
yeah,
it's insane.
No, that's true, because depending on the type of energy they give you can really make or break the collab.
Oh yeah, and because like I personally, for me, I'm a chatty Cathy, but also like when I'm collabing with people, I'm gonna mostly focus on the collab versus my chat in terms of interactions. Like I'm still gonna read chat, but I'm not gonna like, you know, read out every single comment. Like I've had some bad collabs in the past, and I've had some great collabs in the past. I've had collabs where the person was annotating every single comment in both our chats, and like when we were trying to play a game, we'd be playing, doing an objective, and he'd be like, oh, Magnus, you like a good RPG? Oh, person, Blurns Ball, oh, hold him hostage. Like
every time,
like he would read out every single chat out loud. And it's not that I didn't appreciate, because like, you know, sometimes at the time I wasn't very good at reading chat, but like there comes a point where chat's there. We don't have to, in my opinion, you don't have to read every single chatter out loud. You should focus on who you're gaming with and then the gaming at the time. And obviously if it's a question, then we can read out the question, you know?
Exactly.
Because I think that with smaller creators, we're oftentimes so afraid of offending our people and or offending the individuals who we have with us, because you know, if oh, you didn't respond to me in the first 5 minutes of me being in the stream, I'm leaving, because I multi-stream on YouTube, and that is by far the most annoying thing I get all the time.
Oh really?
It is so dumb. Well, it's not dumb, it's in my opinion, most of the audience that I have on YouTube, for example, tends to be younger individuals. And I can tell they're younger because they throw, like, the way they talk and these temper tantrums, and when they speak, it's annoying as hell, because they say hi, and I say their username, I say thanks for being here, I give them like a whole like 30 seconds of acknowledgement, and then they're like, wow, you didn't say hi to me, and then they just peace out, and it's like, and yeah. And with collabs, you know, it's harder to, you know, be hyper connected with chat, because, you know, you're doing something with somebody. You're talking with another person actively in a lobby.
Yeah, I feel like when you're talking to chat directly in a one-on-one manner should be reserved for when you're doing like your own individual streams, because then you can give them your full attention. I think even then, depending on the streamer or the VTuber or whoever it is, you have to kind of find the right balance of like doing the thing you're streaming, right? Like if you're gaming, like, and you're like, for example, when I played Amnesia, there was a lot of times where I had to like focus and make sure I wasn't gonna get caught by the monster versus like reading chat. So it's like it's about balancing it. Plus, adding like a whole different person into the mix makes it a lot more trickier. But I think you're right. When you're like interacting with someone, you should focus more on like interacting with that person, because that's the entire point of the collab. Obviously, I'm not saying completely neglect chat, because that defeats the entire point of chat being there. But it's about finding like a fine balance. And I think a lot of people are like kind of like, you know, like nose blind to the balance a bit.
No, get neglected, chat. We don't love you anymore.
Be gone.
Be gone. Go back to the corner. Chat was more of a monster than that stream. I mean,
they were evil.
Sometimes it's... Someone will expect a sound alert. Exactly. And
oh, yeah.
And I think there's something to be said about having a longevity of chatters, because what I mean by that is, you know, in a lot of ways, it's nice to have chatters who know the vibe and they know the rules of your stream, because they know when to talk to you, or because I think when people join your streams for the first time and they're really newer to your community, they want to like get all these interactions with you as soon as possible so that they don't feel forgotten. Yeah. But then like the moment you become like a veteran, or you're here for a couple streams, you can kind of sit back knowing that, one, all of your questions have been answered, and two, you're just hanging out with your favorite streamer, and then that's like, you know, the part that you appreciate and you enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
that's like, oops, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Because I was gonna say, I didn't really watch many like streamers until recently, which is obviously ironic given the fact that I stream. But also my favorite streamer stopped streaming a year ago, and he recently started up again, and it was like, oh, I really do miss like being just a chatter and interacting with the streamer. I was just like, okay, I can see the appeal. I enjoy it both ways. Just love interacting with people.
Oh yeah. And you know, I've recently been trying a lot harder to be more involved. Do I like mayo? Not really.
He's obsessed with mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. I mean, I'm obsessed with cheese, so you know, we'll find a compromise. I have a cheese story at one point. But no, like I think like one of the biggest things, like, you know, as a person who is an active streamer and a full-time streamer, I make, in my opinion, a terrible viewer.
Oh, really?
I'm a god-awful viewer, because like I am such a hardcore lurker, or I'm such a out of sight, out of mind guy. Like I'll be in your stream and you will maybe never know it, because like most of the time my most active in a chat is when I come in, I say, hey, how you doing? I kind of like get like the vibe for you for that day, but then otherwise, peace out, I'm gone, I'm a ghost, you know? But I'm still in the chat, because like the problem is that I do so many side projects, I do so many different events on the frequent basis that like I find that I just don't have the attention span to be a viewer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
And you know, because like for me right now, I, for example, am very much into my YouTube era, where I'm trying to make a lot of YouTube content. I'm trying to plan stream ideas, or I'm just actively gaming, because like I think it's an ADHD thing for me, but like I cannot sit still and just do one thing. Like if I'm watching a movie, I need to either be on my phone doing something else while watching the movie still, or I'll have to be like doing an additional thing. Like I'll be playing, like I like playing video games when I'm watching my fellow streamer friends, because like, you know, I'm supporting them, but I'm also getting a project done in a game.
Yeah, it's win-win.
Oh yeah.
Because I have a second monitor, so whenever like a streamer that I enjoy is on, I just pop them on the second monitor and then just do whatever I'm doing on the main screen.
That's a really good way to go about it, you know. And more and more of my people that I support are VTubers, and you know, I like supporting my fellow VTubers, because like to me, VTubers are fun because it's the visual appeal, it's the visual variety that they provide, you know. And I think there's a lot of weird misconceptions about VTubing, and like, so before I talk about my like Pink, do you, as a VTuber, what do you think the common misconceptions are about being a VTuber as a content creator?
I'm not too sure. I don't think I've ever thought about it.
And that's totally fine, because like it's like what I mean by, like me, for example, a common misconception that I feel like with VTubers is that, like, you know, my favorite thing on YouTube, especially, that I get hit with is, oh, you're actually an AI model pretending to be a streamer. Like they think, like people legitimately think that I'm a computer. Like I'm not, like, granted my model's themed after a computer, but I am not a computer.
Yeah.
And soon enough, it's gonna happen.
I mean, I did see there's a VTuber that I know, I've forgotten his username, oh my god. But
Adele.
he is like a vampire lawyer, but the thing is as well is that he's an actual lawyer in his like day-to-day life. And
Uh-huh.
he has to constantly give people like I need to let you know that anything that I say to you is not like legally like holding. Like, I have had people as well who like I've had real nurses like my stream talking to me about like nurse-based like you know, oh my god, I just celebrated my like niece. Like obviously I'm not a real nurse, so I'm just like I'm so happy that you're doing well. I'm not a real nurse.
No, and I feel that like I've met a couple of VTuber doctors who are actual like MDs, and like that to me is like what's really fun is like, you know, being able to put like your profession or your personality into your model's like identity is really fun.
Yeah.
It's like I get people all the time asking about like graphic design, various like graphic design advice, and you know, I get a lot of people who are in graphic designing school and they want to learn like, oh, what kind of career should I go to, how should I go into graphic designing school, or how do I start being an independent designer? Because you know,
Yeah.
I consider myself to be a very fortunate graphic designer because I work with, you know, multi-million-dollar companies that like run gift shops, you know, and I work with,
Oh wow.
like I work with companies that are like alcohol brands. I work with like large scale multi-state places, and you know, it's interesting, like, you know, the ability for the I try to give what I feel like is decent advice for people who are in my field, but I also don't know everything in my own field because it's a very vast and wide going field. But then no one knows that I am a designer based on just my model. I have to tell them, or they come into my stream about it.
No, exactly.
So I guess like we kind of funny to talk about that in this case. So like, so why, like, what made you choose a nurse as like your VTubers like your persona, I guess?
It was literally all like I found it ironic. It's literally just all based in irony. It's the fact that I genuinely have really bad health, like and health issues. I've got like partial chronic pain, and then I've you know just loads of issues. And I'm never like not sick. I'm just sick all of the time. So I was like, how funny would it be if I play a nurse who like helps people? So that's the basis of it. And then I've always liked, if you know what the genre called manhira is, it's a very like kind of niche subgenre of like cutesy pink, like I wouldn't call it gore, but you know, like medical supplies, pink, like you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's I just love it. I love it. So it kind of went hand in hand. So I was like, brilliant. Two of my things I could put together.
That's fun. And yeah, like I think I really do think that, you know, sometimes I think there are people out there who kind of take our models a little too seriously when it comes to like how we're depicted. It's like, oh, you're a doctor and you're a doctor VTuber? That means you're an actual doctor. Or, oh, you're this person? I need this. And it's a struggle, you know, it's a struggle to like, you know, be the costume, like the costume versus the career. You know, like not everybody is like not everybody's gonna want to be a VTuber just because of their job. Mind you, some people probably aren't gonna want to share what they do in their like real life, because there obviously are a lot of people that like keep their private life private. So you know, there probably are definitely people who are like, I don't want to tell you guys what I do in my day to day. Oh yeah, and I think everyone has a right to, you know, keep some degree of a separation. Because you know, like you were saying earlier, it's so important to have that separation between having a, what's the word I'm thinking of here? It's important to have a separation between your model's identity and your actual identity. No, even if it's just you being a even if it's just you trying to, you know, be a character. You know, there's no reason for you to tell everybody everything that's happening.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
God, I don't know. So like, it's funky, you know. So
yeah, that's in line.
Yeah. So Pink, with you and like all the things that you've done as a content creator, like, where do you see your content evolving over the next couple of years? Like, do you do you have a visual plan of like how you want to like make your current content bigger and better over the next couple of years or even months?
In general, I want to be able to just kind of get my skills up to be able to improve. Oh my god, improve the quality of my streams. Because I've had so many cool ideas that I would think would up the level of like interactivity and just making it like more fun. But I don't have the skills to do it. Like, for example, we were playing Lollipop Chainsaw.
Nice.
And if you know anything about it, the boyfriend Nick he's basically a keychain of a head. And so I thought it would be a really fun idea to put like a PNG of his head on like my hip as I'm playing it and have like chat talk through him with TTS. But I don't know how to do that. So I would like to kind of just be able to get more advanced in the tech route to be able to just improve things to make it more just more fun.
Yeah. That is really fun. I actually have a thing where I can summon like a black cat and I can make that my TTS thing, and then chat can talk through the cat.
I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, no, it's such a VTubing in general has become very, very complex. And
yeah,
you know, for a lot of people, I feel like VTubing is becoming a little bit more and more not necessarily unreachable. Well, actually, it could be considered unreachable because I think, in my opinion, the biggest reason why people don't want to do VTubing anymore, it's the rising cost.
Yes, I get that.
And when I become red, you become teal. You're now teal potions.
Nice. Going through the whole color spectrum today.
Apparently your bot, I think, no, actually, you know what? Looking at your model now, when Chad did this to us, you look like a Baja Blast.
I do!
You're Baja Blast potions.
Oh,
Baja
hell
potions.
Yeah. New name.
There we go. But yeah, for context, what you don't know, I have various color change toggles on my model, and what tends to happen is my guests will oftentimes get changed with me, and it looks like one of our chatters turned me into Baja Blast. But
like a piece of gum.
Like a piece of you just turn into like really, really, really minty gum.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is how it feels to chew 5 gum.
Oh God. Insert explosion. But yeah, so what I was wanting to get at was, like, you know, VTubing has become exceptionally expensive to obtain any degree of model that is of like your quality, for example, because I myself understand fully well what the price point is for that sort of model level, because for those who do not understand, VTubing has a lot of routes and has a lot of different aspects that you can choose to go into, and it is reachable. It just requires planning and patience, because in VTubing you have PNG VTubers, live 2D VTubers, what we are, and then 3D VTubers, and the complexity and the cost that you choose to go into can always be a variety. You know, people who charge $2,000 plus for a model design, not even the rigging, that's just what they...
That's base price now, isn't it?
More or less. I mean, well, right now it's like in the US, it's on average you're looking at about $900 on a low end to $1,500 on average. That's but that's of course because, you know, the degree and the complexity that people want models to have has drastically changed. They want to have all these different models. They want to have all these different colors. They want these toggles, you know, because like models are these really, really insane complexities, and you gotta appreciate the complexity of models because it's a visual appeal, especially for content creators. You want your model to be able to stand out in a crowd. I had a guest a while back. We talked about how, you know, it's hard sometimes with VTubers because VTubers can look very similar, painfully so.
Yeah.
Because if you've got 100 VTubers in a wall and you put them shoulder to shoulder and you plaster them all away. VTubers right now have a very distinctive visual look that every model has different colors, but sometimes the way they make their styles, it almost looks like everyone looks the same because all these anime style VTuber models are starting to kind of blend in a little bit.
Yeah.
And there are, of course, those individuals who are more anthropomorphized where they have, you know, they're furries or they're a different type of like overall general model. But like, for the most part, people are, give or take, looking the same, but not in a bad way, because VTubers are still unique in my opinion, and VTubers are still looking at it, and it changes, you know?
Yeah.
So, Pink, I'm actually curious about this one here for you, is if you were not a pink nurse with your current outfit, what would you want, like if you could have any model, any budget, what would your dream character be as a VTuber?
I mean, I don't know. I'm probably it is this one because I've put so much time and like effort into her, and like she's almost basically like an OC or like a Sona at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of very attached.
That's fair.
I did start off making like free 3D models in Vroid, and I kind of like progressed, like, you know how you normally do, like make it and then I'd make a PNG tuber, and then you eventually move to live 2D if you prefer that. Obviously everyone's got different preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would, if I could, if I had my absolute dream model, I guess I would say like very similar to this. Loads of different outfits, loads of different hairstyles, toggles, you know, the whole works.
Like a super nurse.
Yeah, because it's just to make it more like customizable, I'd say.
Become a Silent Hill nurse as an outfit.
Oh wait, that's so cool.
God, those things used to give me nightmares as a kid. Just the bandages and how they walked. Just couldn't do it. But yeah, like
little stagger walk.
Like money is a genuine challenge for a lot of VTubers because we are oftentimes faced with this problem and this issue where we want our models to represent ourselves in the best way possible, but it's the financial restraint that prevents us from going where we want to go to. And then on top of that too, the media changes so often that what we thought was going to be really cool and really unique becomes commonplace because somehow, somewhere, somebody else thinks of it and now everybody follows suit. Like, for example, you know, if Iron Mouse decided to invent a specialized like swimsuit sort of situation, then you know, everyone's gonna want to follow Iron Mouse and say, oh, here's this new wave of swimsuit toggles or swimsuit outfits. So now nobody wants to you know, be unique as much anymore. For example, this actually happened very recently. A VTuber made a very amazing and very cute overlay scene where it was a human VTuber, long hair with a sunset in her back behind her. And then she had like her hand on her chin, elbow on a table, and she was kind of like having like that like cozy girl kind of outfit.
Oh wow.
She had a really lovely outfit and like lovely like VTuber scene. But then within less than 2 weeks, you had hundreds upon hundreds of your character here's people making their own rendition, and admittedly a lot of them were very traced. And
oh no.
And you would have the artist saying, hey guys, don't copy my thing and whatever. And what was really bad about it was it became a two-way street, because on one end you genuinely can't own a pose.
No,
you can't own a concept of a model.
No.
like that's the really hard thing with VTubing, because like the line between I own this concept and I own this model are not the same thing. Like, is there probably going to be another pink-haired VTuber? that's of nurse,
Probably.
more than likely.
Yeah.
And you know, there's that's a struggle because we want all of our designs to be so unique, so genuine, and we want to feel good about the models and designs that we choose to use.
Yeah.
But the moment it becomes commonplace, you know, we lose that variety, that uniqueness of ourselves, you know. Like, I'm pretty sure there might be some, like, when the new Tron movie comes out, there might be more Tron VTubers that will come out here, and you know what, awesome, good for them. I just hope to God that I can maintain my own personal uniqueness.
No, that's right, I agree, but I feel like, because obviously visuals are very important in the VTuber space, it's literally fundamentally based on how you look. But I still feel that it does definitely go hand in hand with like your like personality and your, because like, you know, you could have the best model on the market, but if you don't know how to interact with chat, or you don't know what you're doing and you're fumbling, it doesn't really matter at that point. So I think it's like, it's a very balanced skill of like, you know, if you're gonna get a good model, but as long, I think fundamentals, you can make things look good eventually. Like, oh my god, if I showed you what some of my original streams from like 4 years ago looked like, they're crunchy as hell. They did not look good at all. But you know, you take the time, and it takes time, like a couple years, maybe months, even if you're lucky, to like just gradually improve things.
Yeah.
As long as you're like still like stick to your fundamentals of like having a good time and interacting with chat, I think.
Oh yeah. Like a common rule that I've been recently trying to adapt more with art is make it exist first. It can look good later.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that when it comes to like a common struggle that VTubers tend to get is like, we don't know what we want to look like, and we don't know what our brand is going to be. You know?
Yeah.
And like, for me personally, I like to think that genuinely overall, when it comes to like how brands are, I don't think VTubers should ever have to worry about what their brand looks like unless they're trying to go more of a full-time, you know, like, focus on the existence, focus on the personality part of it, because at the end of the day, we're all about just being here. We're all about just being involved in this very, very weird space. And the VTubing space has definitely changed a lot, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Because what has happened is you have these, I like to call them keyboard warriors, where people like to try to defend VTubers on the behalf of a content creator without asking them. And like, they'll basically like go to war and try to defend their VTuber's honor for no reason. It's mostly like, oh, this person's copying Pink Potionss, I'm gonna gaslight them and tell Pink that this person's copying you, and I'm gonna defend your honor. It's like, you don't gotta do that, bro, I swear.
I really hope that my chat is self-aware enough to know that to not do that.
Yeah, I want you to kidnap this person.
I'm just here to have a good time and chill. There's no point in causing any sort of like issue where there isn't any.
No, chat. Go find out where they live. Kidnap them. I want to know who the fuck else is being a Tron VTuber. I can only be.
We need more patience.
No patience.
Bring them
only
in.
War. Wait, the doctor will see you now. I'm not the doctor. What are you? The nurse. Stamp.
I'll see you now.
There we go. God. But yeah, like, it's just, you know, there's a lot of things, like, as VTubers, we don't necessarily have unique struggles as content creators, but we definitely have struggles that not everybody deals with. And you know, at the end of the day, like, I want everyone, whoever watches this video or whoever joins into this, understand that VTubers are a multi-layered system and circumstance, you know, because we have a lot of layers to our story, a lot of layers to our personalities, and it's important to look deeper into, like, you know, who we are as creators, who we are as models, because there's no point in being hyperfixated over one aspect of us as creators, because if you hyperfixate on, oh, pretty nurse VTuber, or oh, cute Tron VTuber guy.
Yeah.
It's gonna get down to the point where, you know, you're gonna warp the image and the brand, and you're gonna warp your appreciation for that person, and it's really difficult. It's really kind of scary, you know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So Pink, throughout, like, with some of our upcoming last questions here, I wanted to kind of ask you here today, like,
Yeah, of course.
for you as a VTuber and or even a content creator, what kind of legacy would you want to hopefully leave behind in the VTubing space, or even just in the content creation space in general?
Cool. I'd like to just be someone that like people remember as like every time you tune into like one of my streams that you genuinely have a good time, and like you can just kick back and like watch and relax and just know that you're guaranteed like a laugh or two. You know, just to create like a really nice like comfort space for people. Like I say comfort loosely because I'm very loud and I had to recently add to my tags. I can be quite loud. But you know, people do enjoy that, right? There's a market for everyone.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I just want my legacy to be a space where everyone could come in and know that everyone's welcome, and we're just here to have a good time. You know, I don't want any negativity. I don't want any drama with anyone. I just want to chill, kick back, play some games.
Yeah. And that's honestly, it's really nice to see that, because like, I feel like a lot of times, sometimes we don't really even need a hyper complex reason to keep streaming, or, you know, to be a creator. Sometimes it's as simple as, you know, you just want to be the light in someone's day. You want to give someone a good environment to relax in and interact with one another. And it's good to find other people like that, because again, I think that it's very interesting when you have these individuals and you have these people who in a lot of ways are so hyper fixated on this big grand goal of content creation that they kind of forget like the little things. They forget like the small moments in content creation.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to dream big. I think everyone has a right to dream big. I just would like to think that at the end of the day, we as content creators are much more than who we are at the surface level. And we all have goals, you know?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys, gals, and gamer pals, as we get ready to wrap up today's episode, today's silver lining is talking more about how we as VTubers and we as content creators tend to have a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than we oftentimes let out. We may be anxious individuals. We may be people who are high-strung and want everything to be perfect and will break at the moment of any sort of scuffing. It's important to understand that VTubers, content creators of any style, form, and shape are really complex people. And there's a lot of things that we like to do to try our best to make our chats and our communities feel welcomed, to give them the best quality that we can provide them. And, you know, we want to give you guys good quality entertainment. And that's always our goal. And so to those of you who are listening here today, remember, we're trying our best. And that is always the biggest thing. The silver lining behind every content creator is that we are more than just sexy models, cute models, or even cool models. You know, I am all three of those things, but
oh, absolutely,
maybe not sexy, but I'm just gonna say we are all trying our best, and it's always important to be happy. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, be patient with your VTuber, be patient with your content creator, let them cook. Pink, thank you so much for being with me here today on this absolutely lovely day. I'm glad we got to do a podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Heck yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you guys have not done so, please do everything you can to check out the amazing Pink, who is over with us over on twitch.tv/Pink Potionss with 2 S's at the end. And I am, of course, Nico Silverado, twitch.tv/Nico Silverado. We do these podcasts very frequently with multiple live recordings over on our Twitch. And for anyone who is joining us here today on our live recording on our Twitch, consider coming to join us over in our Discord, where you can learn more about our upcoming podcast episodes and if anyone would like to be able to joining our podcast episodes, I highly recommend you come join us in the realms of our. Thank you for the sub. We're green now. You're back. You're back to blue potions. Congratulations. Blue.
Nice. Hell yeah.
One of the biggest things is that we need to remember that this podcast is given to you guys, the audience, for you to learn more about content creators of smaller sizes and other sizes in general. And I would want you guys all to hopefully learn something about Pink, check them out in the future, and learn more about them as we do more and more fun events within our community and our channel. But like I said, if you guys would like to join us in for future podcasts, please check out our Discord, learn about how to join in, because we are always looking for more guests to include. And if you happen to know a content creator who you think would be really fun to have on this podcast, send them our way, and we would love to have them. But nevertheless, everybody, this has been Nico Silverado. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the videos on YouTube as we have more episodes for your viewing pleasure. As always, though, adios, sayonara, and goodbye.